Welcome, welcome everybody. We haven't done this in a little bit, but go to the Telegram and just tell us where you're from. We love to hear from everybody in the Telegram. Go to the general chat, just tell us what's up. Say howdy and tell us where you're calling in from. Trinidad and Tobago. I've never been there.
It might be Toronto.
Somehow somebody's not muted. I don't know how it does that. It's weird how Zoom will just miss a few people and just let them not be muted. I don't know how that happens, but West Texas, Philippines, Bluegrass State, howdy. Chicago, New Orleans, Montreal, Mississippi, Hawaii. It is so cool how there's so many people from all over the world. It's wild. British Columbia. A couple people from Florida, Pennsylvania. There's another Pennsylvania person, Brian.
Treading on the territory.
Tom from Brazil.
Love it.
Seems like it's, I wonder if that's Tom's first time calling in because I don't remember that before. Probably not because I didn't ask the last few times. Arlington, Texas. All right. Okay, we are gonna record this call, and we're gonna get started here in about a minute. Excuse me if I sneeze, guys, because I've been sneezing today. I've been sneezing off and on all day. Been dealing with a light cold that I haven't even had time for, so I just kind of don't even notice it's there. But great having you guys all on. This is awesome. What a day, huh? Yesterday and today. It's been really interesting, hasn't it? Very, very interesting. All right, let me go ahead and start the call.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we just started the recording. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. And Keith, let me know if you wanted to be unmuted at all. I know you're there, so if you just want to, just tell me in the Telegram or something. But always love having you, brother. Professor too, I don't see him yet, but I'm sure he's out there somewhere. Got about 200 some people on the call, not bad. So what's happened over the last 24 to 36 hours, I guess I should say, maybe 48 hours, it's been really interesting, hasn't it? Really, really cool. I think that the community's starting to realize what we have and what's going on. I mean, this is a good time. If you look at our chart, looks really, really healthy. Looks exciting, and the growth is continuing to grow. I mean, we're growing at a really good pace right now. Just know it's 1 or 2 days. You know, it's so easy to get caught up into 1 or 2 days, and I think that what makes you get caught up in the short term the most is 2 things. Can anyone tell me what those 2 things are in the chat? What are the 2 things that get you all caught up in the short term? Anybody say? What are 2 things that can get you to be short-term minded? Because oh man, Mark, gold star for you. Mark Daly. Is that Daly or Daly? Okay, Mark Daly. Fear and greed. And that's exactly right. It's an unfortunate thing that can happen to all of us. We're all capable of it. We're all human beings, right? But it is. And people, it's pretty awesome. I'm impressed with some of these people that they're catching on to this really quick. And so what are some symptoms of fear and greed when you really think about it? It is that short-term mindset. It's the here and now. And you know, most people will tell you it's always better to live in the present moment. Always, whenever it comes to life. But when it comes to investing, it's actually, when you're thinking long-term, it's really not a very good idea to live in the present moment. Because at any given moment, the market can do whatever it does. I mean, how many people do you think were back when Bitcoin was a penny? And they saw Bitcoin go to 60 cents. And they got really excited because they bought it for a penny and maybe they put $100 into it. And it grew to 60 cents. And they're like, wow, I got $6 grand worth of Bitcoin. Holy cow, that's amazing, right? And they had no idea long-term what it was going to be, so they couldn't resist. And they just said, man, I got to take out at least 3 of that, or maybe even all of it. I mean, I guarantee you, I mean, that you heard some people back in the day that bought pizza with Bitcoin, right? Like a $10 pizza with 1 Bitcoin. There's a story that's out there like that. Why is that? You know why people get caught up in the short term the most? Who can tell me, why do you get caught up in the short term the most? Give me an answer. Anybody out there? What's your guess? Okay, FOMO, fear. Yeah, we talked about that, but why? Why the fear? Why the greed? Why the FOMO? Why is that? Yeah, let go of the past, right? Okay. But why is that? Why do people get caught up in that short-term mindset, the fear, the greed, all that stuff? What's the number one reason? I haven't seen it yet, and this is just what I believe, and you guys might disagree with me. Impatience, again, is another symptom. But why? Why are they impatient? Instant gratification, yes, again, another symptom. But why? Why the instant gratification? Okay, someone named Mike touched on it. No vision. That's part of it. But why no vision? There it is. John A., you just hit it. Lack of knowledge. Think about that, folks, right now. I want you to really consider right now that the number one reason people make bad decisions in a really good opportunity is because they're not educated about it. They don't understand it for some reason. Maybe they just got in because their buddy told them to. And then they saw it go up and they're like, wow, I could make some money. I can't tell you how many times I've heard stories of people that say, man, I sold it. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't realize it was blockchain. I didn't understand Bitcoin. I just thought some guy made a currency. And then it went up. I put $100 in, it turned into 10 grand. I had to sell it. Couldn't help it, right? Because they had no idea that Bitcoin was blockchain, that it was this trustless environment, that it was this incredible crypto technology that was literally going to change the world because it was self-governed. It was so amazing. All the crypto really is an ingenious concept because it's something that can't be duplicated. It's something that is self-governed. It is trustless. It's amazing, right? And it brought us all the way to here. And people, if you would have been listening to, what's the guy's name that was running around the country selling everybody on Bitcoin? Do you guys know that name? Anybody know? His first name was Roger. Anybody know his last name? Well, anyway, I think it was called, his name was Roger Ver. I could get this wrong. But anyway, Bitcoin Rodney, huh? All right, so the guy was running around the country talking to people about Bitcoin, really helping people understand how amazing it was and what it was. But no one really came to me. When I heard about Bitcoin, I don't know exactly what the price was. It was somewhere between $200 and $300. And the only thing I thought of it was that, man, why would I buy someone else's currency? What do I care? They made a currency. I'm supposed to spend it. I can use PayPal. Like, I don't care, you know? Roger Ver, there you go. And he became a multi-billionaire because he understood it. Okay, so some of the people that will tell you were the biggest investors that hung around, that they bought it really, really low and they stuck with it. Why did they stick with it? Because they got fully educated, thoroughly educated on what it really was. What is it? And if you understand what something really is, don't you think there's a much greater chance you're going to stick around? That's the key. And that's where I'm going to tell you with Sosana, because some of the biggest mistakes people can make is that short-term thought process. Oh, I just bought it at 50 cents and it went to 40. Man, I don't know if I can hang on to this thing, man. I could lose all my money. You might be thinking that if you don't understand what the project really is. Or maybe you just get caught up in emotions and you kind of lose perspective for a little bit. That's easy to do too, isn't it? You might even have a little education and understanding what it is, but it's real easy to forget why we're here, okay? And then you get all caught up in a chart that you're looking at and you see a big long red candle for a second and you're like, uh-oh, and it makes you panic. I can just tell you right now from experience, when you really, really believe in a project like this, Sosana, you got to remember, again, I'm going to reiterate this, and this is repeat business for a lot of you folks. This is redundant for a lot of you folks, but let me tell you something. You can't hear it enough times. It's going to help you stay educated. The reason why you guys got to keep coming on these Sosana calls, these Zooms, even if you've heard it 10 times, is because it's going to stay fresh in your mind. And you're not going to get caught up on the chart and go, oh, because I can tell you right now, if the chart went to 0, I would still be just as excited. I wouldn't be happy. I won't lie to you. I wouldn't like it. I'd be like, what the heck happened? That ain't good. But do you think I wouldn't show up on the next Zoom and tell you it's still the most amazing project in the world? I'd still be here. We'd still be building it. I don't care if it's $1 or $100. We're still committed to continuing this project. And there's so much more to Sosana than a token. I told you guys this on Saturday. Think about it. Most people that buy a token, if you were here Saturday, I told you, and it's been recorded. And if you haven't seen Saturday's recording, please go back and watch it. But people that get into a token, they get into it for one reason, and that's to make money. As a matter of fact, very specifically, they get into it because they want to buy a certain price, hoping it's lower than the price that they sell later, hoping it goes higher. And you know what? That's the only reason they get into that token. They're not there for the technology. They might think the technology is amazing, but if they can't make money buying the token, what do they care, right? If they can use the technology, that's great. And there's nothing wrong with being involved and really interested in the product or technology or whatever it is, right? That's fine. But if they couldn't make money, they probably wouldn't be there, right? And the reality is almost, well, I'm not going to say almost, I'm going to say every single crypto project I've ever seen in my life is all about where you bought and where you sold the token. Okay, now it doesn't mean that you couldn't have participated in their community and learned some things and gotten some education and all that stuff. But when it comes about making money, there was only one way to make money: buy the token and hope that you sell it at a higher price. But that's not the case here, is it? And isn't that what makes Sosana so special and so different? There is actually a separate way, folks, when you think about it, and this is in the development right now. You better be glad it's not in place yet, because if it was already in place, you wouldn't be able to get enough of your friends and family and the people that you love and care about to find out about Sosana before it launches, and that's our utility. When this voting mechanism and reward from nominating and voting, where we come together as a community, as one community with one purpose, and that is to help each other find quality projects and get them at the lowest price we can and throw out the shiny object garbage. Because we all know that shiny object syndrome is the biggest problem in crypto right now, especially on the Solana network. And we all know that Sosana, shiny object syndrome and nothing accomplished, is exactly the result of that problem. It's the problem and the result all in one. And everybody can relate to it, right? Anybody that's been in crypto as an investor long enough, they've experienced it. It's happened in their life. And not only did we provide that relevancy from a meme perspective and all the fun and the humor that David put together on that website, the Rick and Morty cartoon, I mean, we could have just stopped right there and we still think we would have been a pretty successful, fun meme coin. But we provided a solution. When you provide a solution to a problem this big, the sky's the limit. And that's why we believe in this thing. So what's different about our token or our project that's not just a token? Why can you clearly tell people that Sosana is not just a token? Because we have a utility that can do what? Give you a reward? Yes, but there's lots of tokens that give you rewards. Are we talking about a little bitty reward that you can potentially earn? That's what you get from all the other quote unquote reward projects out there. You get this little reward that's kind of subtle, no big deal, right? But whenever you get into this utility, you'll realize, if you fully understand it, that there's multiple ways that you can not only get a reward, but dare I say, without giving you financial advice, without making any guarantees, you could potentially create wealth with the utility. Now you show me, I asked everybody on Saturday and nobody could give me one. But does anyone, I'm not telling you, if you think there's some crypto program, I'm not telling you to post it in the Telegram. That's not what I'm saying. But yes or no, do you know of any other crypto project in history where its utility alone, apart from the token, can not just give you a reward, but can help you create, potentially help you create wealth? The W word, Is there anything out there? Does anybody know? Just go ahead and answer Telegram. Give me a bunch of no's. And if anybody has a yes, I'm going to be really surprised. And I want you to DM me after this call. If you say yes, I want you to DM me and tell me what it is, because I don't believe it till I see it. I haven't seen anything like it. And that's the reason. See, that's the reason there's nothing like Sosana in the world. And I don't know if there ever will be, unless someone tries to copy us. But you know what? If someone tries to copy us, if someone tries to do that, man, it's going to be way late in the game. We are Sosana on the Solana network. It's a perfect fit, right? But what we're about to do, in my opinion, I saw a little yes in there. There's always some smart person in there that thinks they've got it. Fine, send me a DM. That's fine. I'll believe it when I see it. But at the same time, I will really be shocked if it's anywhere near what we have as far as the opportunity for the average person, each and every individual in that community, to potentially create wealth over time. And if you don't understand why or how that's possible, then that might be why you make short-term decisions about this project. Do you understand me? Are you listening? That might be the reason why you get caught up in fear and greed, because you don't understand what we're trying to do. You don't realize why we're going to take over the crypto space and why this is going to happen, because you don't understand the utility. But not only that, you might understand, oh, there's a way to nominate, and there's a way to earn rewards if I get the winning token, all this stuff. But you don't understand what the potential is of that. Let me throw out a scenario for you. Again, this is not a guarantee. This is just an idea. Let's just say, for instance, you vote. You're going through the voting process. There's that 2-week process. The DGen voter bonus has hit that tipping point. We don't know what it is. I'm not even going to throw a number in there, but let's just say it's really big, okay? And there's just enough voters in there, and they vote for the right project at the right time. It's a small enough market cap where they're like, okay, this particular DGen voter bonus wallet is going to have a tremendous impact on this particular project. So they found themselves in that situation. And they may have even voted for the winning token. Now, let's just say maybe this could happen where the token that they voted for, that won the vote, they get airdropped, okay, and they only had to hold $50 in their wallet for this to happen. Think about it. What I just explained to you again has never happened in crypto history, where someone holds $50 worth of that native token and can earn a reward that far exceeds what's in there. We think it's going to be a lot more than $50, but again, I'm not even going to throw out a number. I'm just going to say it could be a lot more. So you got a big old DGen voter bonus wallet that could make a big old impact on the right project, and you get the airdrop reward that's bigger than what you're holding. That has never happened in crypto history, and we think that's going to go viral. I think you guys agree. Now, what if that token that they voted for some reason, just exploded? Let's say that they got that reward. It was a really nice reward, bigger than what they had. And that token went up 10x, 20x, 30x, maybe even 100x. I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but what if it does happen? Then you would honestly say that apart from the Sosana token, that person had an opportunity to create wealth, even if they didn't make money with the token. That, to me, is what makes Sosana, I almost said the wrong word. That's what makes Sosana the most incredible project, and you guys are here so early. How early potentially? Okay, I want to put, because it was a Saturday call. We didn't pack the house. Everybody was taking a break, and I don't blame them, but I was full of energy on Saturday and couldn't wait to share with you guys what I was thinking. But I talked about the real possibility, not the guarantee, not a prediction, not financial advice, but the real possibility of us actually hitting $100. Now, if we hit $100, it doesn't mean we have to stop at $100, but I'm just saying there's a real possibility that could happen. Why is that? Well, I showed you that on Saturday. Who was there on Saturday? I just want to see how many people can tell me in the chat if you were there for the Saturday call. And I'm going to include that who heard the recording. So not only were you there, but you also heard the recording. How many people? Come on, there's more than that. I'm seeing about 20 so far. Keep it coming. We got 264 people. Maybe some of you don't have access to your Telegram right now, but let me see. Did you see the recording? Did you see it live? Either one, I want you to just put me in there. Me, yes, me. I'm getting a lot of them. Great. Isn't that awesome? Okay. That was you guys like that call? It was a pretty good call, right? Did it make sense? Did the light go on for some of you when you went through that? Did it really help you understand it and make you really bullish? Does it help you understand that even though we're at 60 cents, which is actually incredible growth, that we're still potentially haven't even got started? Do you realize that our Telegram has 2,183 members and we have, I don't know what, 1,100 holders? I don't know what it is. It's so beginning, folks. I'm going to share my screen just to give you an idea of what is possible. Where are we? Okay, we're looking at our chart. That's a really beautiful chart. And by the way, I like to look at the 4 hour because we're really only what, in our 5th day? So that's the 4 hour chart. These are 4 hour candles. Okay, I like to look at that because if you go any lower than that, it's just kind of gets a little bit stretched out. It's a little bit crazy. And if you go too long, look at our daily chart. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's starting our 5th candle already, right? This is a really, wow, that's an amazing daily chart. Look at that, up, up, up. We haven't had a bad day yet. Amazing. Would it matter to me though if we did? I don't know, what do you call a bad day? It depends on how you define it, right? If we had a red candle day, would I care? No. Am I worried about what's going to happen tomorrow? No. I'm thinking about years from now. I'm thinking about, I mean, at least months from now, right? Christmas, 2026. That's where my mindset is. My mindset isn't what's happening today. Okay, that's just kind of where I'm at. But let me give you an idea. You know, what is possible? We talked about it Saturday, and maybe some of you guys missed this, but even if you didn't miss it, I want you to sit and listen very carefully. We go to meme projects. I pulled up Pepe, and Pepe currently is sitting at a $4.3 billion market cap, right? Okay. Now, again, when I throw out these numbers, folks, again, I am not making any guarantees. I'm not saying we're going to be a $4 billion project or a $10 billion project. But I will tell you my opinion as I believe we're a multi-billion-dollar project in the making that actually is going to far exceed Pepe. But that's just my opinion. That's not a fact. That's not a prediction. That's just my opinion. It's not financial advice and it's not a guarantee. You guys understand that, okay? But when I present these facts to you, you can decide if you think the potential is there. That's where it is totally and entirely up to you. You can make that decision. But when you look at Pepe at a $4.3 billion market cap, you got to understand, if I pull up their chart, you can see they're not at the top. As a matter of fact, I believe they eclipsed at one time over $9 billion market cap. Look at the 24-hour volume in that $9 billion market cap. Can you see that? $1.64 billion in a 24-hour period in just volume alone when they hit a $9 billion market cap. And it might have even been a lot higher than that. It was probably a little bit higher than that, okay? I don't know, but it was somewhere around there. Well, what's possible? If you think about Sosana, we're not just a meme coin. Oh, by the way, I just want to highlight this too. 483,000 holders, right? We got just around 1,000. This has 483,000 holders. What is Pepe all about? If we click on their website, let me see. You know, for some reason, I haven't been able to get the Pepe website to work very well. So I'm going to just forget about it. But from what I recall, here's what's amazing. Their website isn't even working, and yet they still are a $4.3 billion project. Unbelievable, right? Let me see here. Something went off on my computer. Okay, I'll look at that later. Okay, something went off on my computer when I went to that website. That's really wild. But in any case, right? Just take a look at that and understand that you're looking at a $4.3 billion market cap that had a high of somewhere between 9 and 10 billion. And then you want to kind of consider, what is Sosana all about? It's not just some meme character. It's actually a tremendous utility that we think is going to solve the biggest problem in crypto, the shiny object syndrome. As David has always put it, way too much supply and not enough demand. And that's a serious problem even for quality projects. Why? Because there's so many distractions that even the quality projects are getting left behind, right? Think about that. Unbelievable. And so what is possible? We all know that our token supply is 88,888,888, right? Okay, we know that. If we were to hit the same market cap as Pepe, which is 4.3 billion, okay, I'm not saying it's going to happen again. I'm not saying it. And you divided that by our entire token supply. That means every single token is out in supply, out into the marketplace, which we know isn't really going to happen for over 5 years. But let's just say all of them are out there. You're looking at a $48 potential Sosana token without making any predictions. Now, if it went to, let's just say we were at 9 billion, that's basically going to take us, if we go to 9 billion, clear that out, a $9 billion market cap, which is where Pepe was at its peak. Okay, and you divide that by our token supply, you're looking at over $100 token. Now, it's really, really hard for people to look into the future and think, well, here we are at 60 cents and being at $100. Unbelievable. It just sounds like, wow, it's just unbelievable. But if you understand what we bring to the marketplace and what we're doing for people, you can realize that that's actually possible. And again, no predictions, no financial advice, but what if it is possible? And I personally believe it's going to happen. But again, that's just my opinion. You got to think about all the things that you understand about this project and decide if that's your opinion. What do you think? That's the reason why I think this project has so much potential. Again, not just as a token. I showed you the potential of our token. Okay, that throws out the affiliate plan, the opportunity for people to earn Sosana tokens and change their life potentially financially in a big way. I didn't talk about, well, I talked about it, but I'm not including that in that analysis of where the token's going to go. But you understand that it's going to really, really attract people to the token when they join the affiliate plan, because it's people getting people and getting rewarded for it. But you got to think about what's inside that affiliate plan. Digital products that are just absolutely incredible. We're talking about education, certified training. We're talking about a community hub, and inside that community hub, people having access to a whole nother voting process that David Track invented called pre-launch projects. Is there any way to get into a project better or earlier than pre-launch? Can you get into a project sooner than pre-launch? Don't you think when everybody finds out what's inside the affiliate and that community hub, that they're all going to want to become affiliates, that they're all going to want to join us? And for 48 hours when we launch it, there's going to be a very short window where they can come in for $99 lifetime. We think everyone's going to want to come into it. We think everybody that wants to participate in the vote is also going to want to be a member of the affiliate because of the community hub and having access to pre-launch projects. And they're going to get rewarded from 50% of the marketing wallet. 50%, it's actually set aside for pre-launch projects, where once a month, rather than once every 2 weeks, once a month, everybody's going to come in and get this. As if that's not enough, each one of those pre-launch projects must be KYC'd before they're even introduced to our community. That provides, you talk about a safe haven, okay? And then the reward is going to be paid out in Solana token rather than the winning token, because you can't buy it, it's in pre-launch. And people are expected to take that Solana token that they voted for, that they're excited about, and put it into that pre-launch project, which is most likely what's going to happen, because that's why they're voting. They're excited about it. They voted for that project because they really like it. They think it's good. They think it's got great potential. And how many of those pre-launch projects do you think is going to come to the Sosana community if we're growing by the thousands, tens of thousands of people like that? Are you starting to get an understanding how way, way more than just the token, you can potentially create wealth without the token? You could just have $50 in Sosana and still, by just being a part of our community, have an opportunity to potentially create wealth without selling anything to anybody, without doing any kind of marketing, just simply participating and doing what you came for, to find quality projects, help the community, throw out the shiny objects, uplift the quality projects, and throw out the garbage, right? This is going to become a place. We think it's going to become the place which is actually going to save the Solana ecosystem. Because there's a lot of people that are walking away from it that have been rug pulled, scammed, everything else. So we've created this mechanism, this amazing viral, which is soon to be viral mechanism, that everybody is going to want to participate. Folks, when a community participates, that's when you see growth. Can you think of a single crypto community that would participate quite like that, where every single person wants to participate? Almost every person. Now, there might be some people there just for the token because they know everybody else is going to participate. And that's fine, right? But most people are going to participate. And I have never seen a concept in crypto where every single person wants to come together for the same reason, and that is to participate in its utility, to find quality projects, a unified purpose. I've never seen a more unified purpose in a community that motivates people to want to participate like Sosana. And I think because of all those things that I just explained to you is why I think you really need to think long term. I think you need to understand this and not get caught up in the fear, the greed, the emotion, and all the things that come with the day-to-day chart or whatever's happening with the token. Okay, I hope that I can, that was really my goal tonight, is just to get you guys as educated as you possibly could, to see the vision, like Mike said. That's the reason why people falter. There's no vision. I want you guys to have the vision. I want you guys to understand it, because if you understand it, you're going to stay with us. Stay with us for the long haul. Don't sell today and realize a year later, yeah, I was in that Sosana token. I sold it about 60 cents because, man, I made some good money. But my gosh, look at where it's gone. And why did you do it? Man, I didn't realize. I didn't realize where it was going. Well, I think now at least I've given you an opportunity to see the potential so that maybe you do realize. I hope that's good. Brian, you got anything you want to add to that? I'm going to bring you out. I'm going to open up the video for you, brother. Go ahead.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, before I say anything, an excellent job, man. Just kind of laying it out. But cover, if you will, man. We're talking about education for people, you know, and we know there's a lot of questions that have been popping up, but one of the ones that's been most persistent, and I saw you covered on a webinar, and I'm going to ask you to cover it again because I'm not sure if we recorded that one, was, hey, man, I'm seeing somewhere that it says that the top 10 wallet holders have 90%. Can you show that? Just show people what that is, because I think once people see it, they're like, oh, okay, that's a nothing burger. So, and they can move on.
Yes. Right. Great question. Thank you for bringing that up, brother. I appreciate it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share the screen again. We're going to go to where you can find the contract. Now, remember, if you're on Deck Screener and you're looking at the chart, you can always go to this middle number here where it says Sosana. I'm going to highlight that. That's our contract. Okay. Then you're going to want to go to Soul Scan, because that's where people see this information and they start to make all these crazy interpretations. And I have heard every interpretation in the book. And it's so funny because they think that because they see something that it must be true, right? And the thing about crypto is, yes, it is very transparent, but there's so many possibilities in it. There's so many things that you got to understand about it. We know that as we said before, our current supply is right here, 88 million and change. There's our market cap, right? But then we go to holders. You see where it says holders right here? I'm going to click on holders. And the reason why people look at that 93% for the top 10 is because they see something called the token owner wallet, where it contains 79,088,788 tokens in that one single wallet. And I'm just here to tell you, this is the smart contract token owner wallet. It doesn't mean that any one person controls it, like, oh yeah, they're just going to sell all those tokens whenever they want to. Folks, this is for distribution. If you go to our website, you can pull up the light paper, and the light paper is going to be very specific on exactly where these tokens are going and how they're coming out in circulation. Think about it, okay? Right now, we're going to start with about a 49% circulation, which includes inside that 49%, if you read the light paper, it's going to tell you it goes towards team distribution, it goes towards marketing, it goes towards, there's like an airdrop wallet in there, there's all kinds of purposes for it. If you want to know the exact purpose, every purpose inside these tokenomics, you go to our light paper and you're going to be able to read it right there, okay? Now, there's a time when this is going to be completely and utterly locked. And when it's locked, that 93% that these little machines all kind of spit out that number, oh, hey, we just want you to know the top 10 holders have 93%. It's just absolutely not even logical, let alone factual, okay? You just got to understand, this is the smart contract wallet. This is where all the tokens will come into circulation from out of circulation. This is where a 5-year distribution occurs. As we told you, we launched 9.8 million tokens inside the liquidity pool for sale, right? And so if you want to look at the light paper and you want to understand where those tokens are going, you can look at that. And when you understand that, you're never going to ever think about the idea that the top 10 holders hold 93% of the tokens ever again. Again, education, understanding. You would never want to think something that's not true. And it just looks like that right now because it's not officially locked, and it's not officially locked because it still has some utility and some purposes that we have for it, one of which is the airdrop, which we all know is coming. Okay? So hopefully that answers that question. Is there anything else I should say about that, Brian?
No, I mean, that's it, man. And I think that because we got it on tape now, right?
Yep.
So, and people can say, oh, somebody asking the question, they can either give them the answer. They say, I don't remember the exact answer, but it's nothing nefarious. You can just go watch this video, and it's in there. So thanks for doing that, man. I appreciate that because I know that that's something that keeps coming up, and it's such a simple answer that every time I show it to people or I even tell them, they're like, oh, okay, you know, and that's the end of it. So thanks for doing that. Listen.
Yep.
And while I'm talking, man, if you want to go, the professor did come on board in the Telegram group and said he was in. So if you want to find him, I know it's a ton of people to kind of filter through and unmute him. If he wants to talk, that's great. I'm going to go rapid fire, man. You said a lot of stuff and that just kind of triggered some things in my mind. And I actually did something I never do, which I actually wrote down notes, right? So I could just get through this very quickly. So the first thing is, I know Mark opened up the call and he talked about, hey man, there was somebody, you know, who didn't know any better, and they spent a Bitcoin for pizza. It's far worse than that. I just want to, I mean, if you've ever heard this, May 22nd is called Bitcoin Pizza Day, and it's celebrated every year by the Bitcoin community as Bitcoin Pizza Day, because on May 22nd, 2010, right, Bitcoin was this concept. People were mining for them. They were getting all these Bitcoin. It had almost no value. It was worth 0.003, so 1/3 of a penny. And there had never been, nobody had any idea how they were ever going to use Bitcoin as money, like to actually enter a real world transaction. It was just a concept. And the first transaction that ever occurred of a person actually using Bitcoin to buy something in the physical world, so digital money to buy something in the physical world, is this guy Laszlo Hyanek back on May 22nd of 2010, who got somebody to agree to spend $30 to buy him 2 pizzas, right? And he would give them the equivalent amount of Bitcoin. Now, quick math will tell you, $30 and 1 Bitcoin was worth 1/3 of a penny. He gave them 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. And today, quick math will tell you, that's over $1 billion. Over $1 billion is what that equated to over the last 15 years.
Wow.
So every single year he gets pulled on the talk shows, and it's got to be painful to have to relive that over and over and over again. But they pull him on the talk shows, they pull him onto radio shows, they pull him onto all this stuff, they prop him up, and people ask him every single year, "Why did you do it? Why did you do it?" And he has the same exact answer. I know he's tired of giving it every single year, because I didn't know. You think if I knew Bitcoin was going to go to $100,000, I would have gave somebody 10,000 of them for pizza? But again, the point is, he didn't know, right? But we can kind of learn from that. You know, I've got story after story of people I know who heard about Bitcoin, and they heard about it early. You know, where another buddy of mine heard about Bitcoin. His 2 sons told him to go buy this stuff called Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin was at $800, he bought a few Bitcoin at $800 each. He then proceeded to stare at it every single day and watch Bitcoin go down to $500 and said, this was a mistake, and he sold it right then. And then he was happy as he watched it continue to go all the way down to $200. And then he just checked out and said, I made a good decision. Later on, he said, I wish I would have really learned about what it was, because instead of selling it, I would have waited for it to go down to 200 and just bought a whole lot more. And I'd be much wealthier today, right? So it's just a matter of knowing this. So guys, you guys are here in this community right now because what we're doing as a community is we're creating organic awareness right now. Think about this. Of all the people that are on this webinar right now, right? Of all the people that currently know about Sosana, of all the people who have currently already made the decision to be a wallet holder and go get some Sosana, we represent 1 grain of sand on all the beaches of the world. That's really how small this community is. Small yet committed. but still small when you consider all the rest of the people out there who are going to one day hear about this, and the millions, in our belief at least, and the millions of people who are going to decide that, you know what, it only makes sense to go get some Sosana and hold it, right? Because here's the deal. Our vision is simply this, that there's going to come a time here, whether it's a year from now, whether it's 2 years from now, that when you ask somebody who says they're involved in crypto, and you said, oh, what tokens are you holding? They're going to say, well, I got some Bitcoin, I got some Ethereum, there's this new project I'm really excited about called whatever, that just came out, it just launched with this team. And by the way, of course, I've got my $50 worth of Sosana, because everyone's going to know that if you really want to have an edge in this space, you're going to be able to get that. That's what we are. We are going to be giving people an edge every 2 weeks of their life for the rest of their life, as long as they're holding at least $50 of Sosana. And it's just going to become a thing. Of course, I've got at least $50 of Sosana, because I'm not an idiot, right? It's almost like I almost forgot to say I had Sosana, because everybody does, right? And we know that as that becomes a reality, what that's going to do to the price of Sosana. Again, that's just our vision. And guys, understand what vision really is, right? Vision is being able to see the end all the way from the beginning. Most people can't do that. Most people can't go past one candlestick to the next, which is why Mark said you've got all this fear and greed. But we're not even thinking that. We could literally care less. And I hope that doesn't sound insensitive, but we could really care less about one candlestick to the next. Don't get me wrong. We're human. We get excited. We get on the phone. We're like, yo, it's at 20 cents. Hey, it's at 40 cents. Hey, it's at 60 cents. But that's just because in our mind, we're watching people who are winning. That's what it is, right? And for us, we can't wait for it to get back to $1.01. $1.01, because once it's at $1.01, every single person, no matter what price they got it at on launch day, is now in profit. Even the people who got it at the very, 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 very peak, they're now in profit. And we're thinking, hey, man, that could happen tomorrow, right? It could happen the day after. So that is very fast, considering we are just babies right now in the industry. So here's the thing. We looked at a few what we call inflection points of what we thought right away when we were planning this out would be mass growth points and would be really exciting. Number one was the launch. We just went through that, right? Number two was when we actually had the very first vote. And number three is when we actually took the affiliate plan live. We said in all of these things, we expect there to be an explosion, a lot of buy pressure, a lot of excitement, a lot of buy pressure. That's our belief. Again, can't make promises, but that was our belief. And knowing that, it was like, okay, so then if you have tokens, you want to be in the game for all three of those things, right? You want to have as many tokens as possible accumulated at all three of those points, because we believe that it's going to be up, up, up at all three of those points, right? So I know some people, they don't think like that, right? It's like they don't understand that success is a journey, not an event. So for them, success or failure was all about launch day, as opposed to this is a real project, right? Not a pump and dump and it's over. This is a real project, right? So success is going way beyond launch day. So we're looking at all those points and we're saying, hey, position yourself as best you can. Mark talks long term. Those things aren't even really long term. We're talking weeks, right, from now. But Mark, just position yourself as best as possible to accumulate as many tokens as you can, right? So that you are in the best position to take advantage of what we think are going to be some incredible growth curves. I'll tell you how much my vision is, and how much I bought into, what Mark was actually talking about who was on that webinar on Saturday. And if you haven't, have you seen the video? I had a friend of mine today that is very good at social media marketing. And he knew we were launching Sosana. He looked at it this morning. He saw the price and he was like, whoa. He said, hey, man, I'm telling you right now, man, you know me, I got incredible skills. He said, man, listen, I'd love to go out there and really start doing some marketing for Sosana right now, man, and just really get it going. And he was like, listen, if you can send me some tokens, man, I'll go out and I'll start blowing this thing up right now in advance of any massive marketing campaign from the company. I'll just start blowing it up right now. And I said, well, how many tokens are you thinking? And he looked at the chart and saw what the price was. And he said, send me 4,000 tokens, man, and I'll go kill this thing right now. And in my brain, what I heard was, send me $400,000. And I was like, what? Are you crazy? I said, come on, man. You want me to give you $400,000 just so you can go do some marketing? And he was like, what is the price of your token? And I realized, and in my brain, I instantly calculated $100 value per token. And I thought it was the most ludicrous thing I'd ever heard. But that's where we are. You know, that's just what we're thinking. We're not thinking today, tomorrow. We're a year down the road. You know, we're 2 years down the road. And it was just this thing. I actually started laughing because I realized that's what I heard. He said 4,000 tokens. I heard $400,000. And that is literally the type of thoughts that we are working with right now. So you got to figure out where you are, what your vision is, and you got to actually figure out what to do based off of that. With that said, guys, I just want to give you a 4-part plan, just a 4-part plan of how I would look at this. Because I know we have a lot of people. And I keep hearing, and I'm learning this more and more and more as I look into the Telegram group, as I get more calls from people, as we're jumping on some of these side webinars with some private teams. There's a lot of people who, Sosana, this is their first entree into the crypto space. You know, they've been hearing about it for a long time. Never really heard something that made sense to them. But finally, somebody told them the Sosana story, and they said, you know what? I don't know what it is, but I love this. This is really making sense to me. So here's 4 things I would say you might want to think about. Number 1 is embrace the space. You know, understand that this crypto world is crazy. It's, you know, if you get addicted to watching the charts, and I'm speaking, this is me preaching to the choir because I get addicted to watching the charts sometimes, right? But it's up and it's down and it's sideways and you see stuff and you're like, you don't understand it. I was on the phone with Mark and I said, man, you know, we're talking on the phone. I got the chart in front of me because somebody just texted me and said, hey man, have you seen the price? It's shooting up. So Mark called me right after that. I'm on the phone. I pull up the chart and I'm watching it. And I noticed right when we got to about 38 or 39 cents, right? And it's just going up, 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 up. We get the 39 cents and I see like a red sell come in and I looked to see what it was for. And it was for $8.12. And then Mark, you probably remember this. I said, Mark, we're on a straight up roll and somebody just sold $8.12. I don't understand. And he said, hey man, he said, you don't know who that person is. You don't know where they're at in the world. Maybe they got in for $2, man, and they just quadrupled it to $8. And where they live at in the world, maybe that really makes a difference. And man, and that's Mark. I mean, he's just connected to people. And I said, man, that's a good point, man. You know, I can't think about this in this like purely like American thought process or Western thought process, or, you know, I gotta realize that this is a global thing and it's just getting started. But there are people all over the world who are really looking for Sosana to make a difference in their lives, man. And maybe that made a difference for somebody. I don't know, right? And I said, man, that's a good point. So embrace the space, right? It's crazy. There's going to be stuff. There's a lot of stuff that has happened in this industry and in this space that is untoward. That's why people are so sensitized. Like, man, what's going on? You guys got 93%, and we get it. We don't have the same level of anxiety that some people have about some of those things because we know that everything we're doing is above board, right? So if it's a perception, we like, hey man, whatever, we'll just show you, just like Mark just went around and showed you, and he could just wipe that out in a matter of seconds. But here's why I say embrace the space, because right now, I think it is without a shadow of a doubt, cryptocurrency represents the opportunity for the greatest wealth transfer up until this point in the history of mankind. I really believe that, right? It is one of the best. If you have a cell phone and a data plan or a Wi-Fi signal anywhere in the world, you can now instantly plug in to a global economic driver, right? No matter where you are in the world, for as little as $1 or $2, as we just saw, you can get involved in something from anywhere in the world, and you can actually be in a position to potentially win. And for people, if you see the types of stories and people actually achieving wealth, a lot of people are able to do that in the cryptocurrency space if they can avoid some of the landmines, right? And that's part of why Sosana is here in the first place. Number 2, right? Develop a plan. I know a lot of people bought tokens and now they have no plan, right? So they're again selling at what I might think would be odd times when you know everything's going. But again, develop a plan. If your plan is wealth accumulation, what does that look like for you? You know, where do you see the token going, and what do you think you need to do? How many tokens do you need to accumulate now today so that when you get to the price that you actually believe it's going to be in the future, it actually represents what you and your family consider to be wealth accumulation? If your plan is profit taking, what does that look like? Is it just dump all my tokens at once, right, and be out of the game? Or is it kind of, you know, taking some lighter profits at certain points or whatever, so you can put some money in your pocket, take care of your bills or whatever, but staying in the game so you can still benefit from the rises? Develop a plan. Number 3, guys, ask yourself this question every day, which is, what can I do to give myself a raise in Sosana? There's a couple of ways you can go about that. One is, as other people are going in and buying, right, and putting more buy pressure than sell pressure, it takes the price up. So maybe what you're doing, how you're contributing to giving yourself a raise, is you're talking to different people every single day. Have you heard about Sosana? Have you heard about this incredible project? This is why it's cool. Maybe what you're doing is you're figuring out, hey, man, I'm going to just keep buying the dip. Right? I know a lot of people have got that plan. I'm keep buying the dip. So I'm doing some average cost here about how I'm ever going to actually be able to escalate faster. But just ask yourself that question, man. What can I do to give myself a raise in Sosana? And then go out and do those activities. If more of us in the community are doing that, we are definitely positively impacting the price. And then number 4, and this is the theme that Mark has gone through the entire day, educate yourself. You got to educate yourself, man. I know people have said crypto is cryptic, it's confusing, I don't understand it, but listen to what I'm about to say, and I mean this seriously, and I do not mean to be offensive to anyone, but I'm just going to be real. In the age of Google, YouTube, and ChatGPT, permanent ignorance is a choice. There is no excuse to say, I don't know, and have that be a permanent state of being. Seriously, guys. You have every reason. You have more access to more knowledge right now in this day and age than people have had collectively, like in the entire world combined. When they had to depend on libraries and encyclopedias, and you know, the only way we're going to learn this is if we go to some highbrow university. You can sit back right now and just get lost in YouTube for a few hours and learn more than people are learning in college courses, especially when it comes to this arena of cryptocurrency, guys. Don't remain permanently ignorant about what you're doing and what you're involved in. It will cause you to miss opportunities in the crypto space, and it will cause you to make bad, impulsive choices being driven by fear or greed. The people who are going to hit this the biggest are the people who are taking the time to learn and to figure out what they are doing. Those people are going to really be rewarded for that knowledge. Take the time to educate yourself, and you guys are going to put yourself in a real position to win. With that said, Mark, I'm going to throw it back to you, sir.
Awesome, brother. As usual. Love having you, Brian. Awesome. Don't know what we do without you. So, you know, that's basically the call tonight. I didn't plan on taking a lot of questions tonight. We might do that tomorrow night, but we are about 54 minutes in. Unfortunately, I got some calls I got to be on myself right after this. And guys, it's just been nonstop. I mean, it's from the moment I get up to when I go to bed, it's like one call to the next, and then I just got to shut it off when it's time. It's just like, I'm done. I could probably stay up till the wee hours talking to people if I had to, but it's just kind of been like that, and it's going to be like that for a little bit. But we're here for you guys every Monday through Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be here, and we're going to help you educate others, bring them to us, because this community grows very specifically because you guys invite people. You know, we don't grow unless you're helping us grow. So that's the key. We can't do this without you, and that's why we're always going to be here for you to help enable you to do it as successfully as you possibly can. But again, I just want to reiterate, the essence of this call tonight was really just me helping you understand, how do you get past that present day thinking, you know, getting caught up in the emotions and the fear and the greed and everything. And I hope that we were able to do that tonight in multiple ways, you know, helping you understand the importance of getting educated and understanding it, but hopefully giving you a little bit more about the vision and what we're going to do. So I want to thank everybody for coming on. I hope that everybody here tonight shows up tomorrow night, and you bring at least one person with you. Just show up and just let us educate them, because we think we have something really special. But again, thanks for everyone coming on tonight, and we will see you tomorrow night.
shit. Let's see.